I found this at a flea market. I was attracted to it because it's got my three favorite vintage tool materials: wood, brass, and steel. The other reason I was attracted to it is I don't see these that much. The way this works is you got these two screws that hold the blade. The blade can come all the way through the handle. Pretty interesting, right? I didn't find any markings on this part, on the handle part. The blade, where did I see it? Okay, right there. Hopefully that'll focus. There you go. Right there, it says Made in England. Now that could just mean this blade is made in England, but should be fun to clean up. Try to open these slots up. Give me every chance of getting them out. I think I might replace these screws with brass ones. I think it would look better. All right, let's give it a shot. No, it wasn't even tight. Why does it feel like it's just spinning in place, Magdad? That's not good. Huh. I decided to flip it over, give the other one a try. All right, this one's unscrewing. Well, that's good. Oh, wow, look how short it is. You see that? It's tiny. Well, hopefully we can get the other one out without too much trouble. That's the one that's just spinning in place. Let me try the obvious. Just flew out. Not only did it just fly out, it landed with the other ones. There you go. They're both out. Yeah, I don't think there should be much holding this now. Ooh. Yeah, there wasn't much holding it. Know what I'm looking at here? If that's wood, it looks like maybe someone, to try to tighten it up, someone put paper in there. Yeah, it's some kind of paper. Maybe at one point the handle got loose and they wrapped it with paper or tape. And this is what's left of it. I'll get a close up of that. See that? All right. Oh yeah, here's that tab. That sits in there for the screws to press on to clamp the blade. All right. I'll have to make sure I remember to put that back in. Here's all the pieces laid out. This is that paper that was wrapped around here to make the fit tighter. See now, without the paper, see how loose it is? So I'll have to do something to build this back up so it fits better. I'm going to clean up this brass piece first. I'll use this wire brush and my drill. Try to get that inside cleaned up. All right, the wire brush did okay on the sides. Man, they're rough. That's really rough casting in there. But I want to get the bottom too. I'll try something else for that. I stuffed some coarse steel wool down in the hole. Now I got a drill bit that's quite a bit smaller than the hole. I'm just going to use that to spin the steel wool. All right, looks like the steel wool did the trick, got to the bottom of the hole. Cleaned it all up pretty good. I'm going to try to use my steel wool trick on these countersunk holes here. Get a good wad of steel wool between the drill bit and the brass. Yeah, it looks like it's working right. Try cleaning this slot. Some steel wool. This is just a popsicle stick. I mean, it's not super important that this slot be cleaned out, but there could be some rust down there left over from the blade and the screws. I'll just run this through a couple times. I was thinking about how rough that is on the inside. Like a rough casting type thing. I think it might behoove me to get that smoother, to make it easier to fit when I go to make a better fit to the handle. I think it'd be better if that'd be smooth. So I'm going to go after it with my sanding drum and my Dremel. Try to make it smoother. That only took a couple seconds with the Dremel. It's definitely smooth on the inside now. I think that's going to help me. All right. Now I want to get to work on this outside. I went over it with the 400 grit belt on my 1x30 sander. I got a lot of the nicks and dents out. It's looking a lot better. I went over it again with the 600 grit belt. I got to get in here. I'll probably use some steel wool to get in here and in these grooves. But that's looking real nice. I think I'm going to give the 600 grit abrasive wheel a try. Right in that groove. See if I can clean it up. Just want to see how it does. I started with the purple 600 and then finished up with the light green 1000. And let's see if I can get a good focus on you. There you go. I think it did a decent job. There's some I think they're casting imperfections that I would really have to file and sand down. I'm not sure I'm willing to do all that. I also tried it in the groove, in both grooves, and I went over the knurling there a little bit. I went over it with some superfine steel wool. I think it's definitely ready for Chuck and I to polish it with the you-know-what. I gave the screws an overnight soak in Evaporust. They came out good. I want to really polish these heads up nice. I'm hoping that my plastic abrasive wheel, oh yeah, see, these wheels are going to fit. Hopefully fit in those slots. So I want to polish that too really well. Okay, here's the screw. Here's the screw I haven't done yet. I went through 5 grits of sandpaper and 2 grades of Scotch-Brite, and that got me to this. I think that looks pretty good. While they were in the drill, Chuck and I decided to go ahead and polish the heads with some flits. I think they look pretty nice now. What do you think, Chuck? The blade has some minor rust spots. I'm going to try to take those out with the fiber wheel. I'm going to use this board as like a backer while I'm working on it on the fiber wheel. I think the fiber wheel did a decent job on that. I think I'm just going to go over it with this really fine Scotch-Brite. And then maybe after that, Chuck and I will polish it. I think the first step with this wood handle is to just wash it in soap and water. I want to see how much of this is just dirt and grime from years of use. Here's the handle after its bath. It's got some staining. I think I'm going to give this stuff a try again. I mixed it 6-to-1 with hot water. Let's see if it lightens these stains any. I'm going to coat the whole handle, let it dry, and then coat the whole handle again. It almost seems like that stain got lighter right before my eyes. I bet you it's my imagination. Here's the handle after 2 coats of the oxalic acid. I think one of the stains was there. And there. I think it actually worked. They're a lot lighter than they were. So I have water mixed with baking soda over here. I'm going to scrub this and neutralize the acid. I mean, the acid, I don't know if you're going to be able to see in the camera. There's actually crystals of dried acid. I don't know if it's going to show up on the camera. Yeah, you can maybe see some of it in there. It's like crystals of dried acid on there. So I figured it'd be good to neutralize it. Oh yeah, look at that foam. The foam reminds me of the baking soda vinegar volcanoes we used to make in grade school. You remember those? I always thought that was fun. I'm going to scrub this real good, and then I'm going to rinse it in plain water and let it dry overnight. My plan is to use quickwood putty to build up this diameter so that the ferrule fits tight. I cut some grooves in it on both sides to help the putty hold. I noticed that inside, all it goes through here is that saw blade. Inside it looks like it's chipped away. I'm hoping to get some putty in there too. I think what I'll do, I have a popsicle stick I covered with wax paper. I'll use that to sort of save the space for the blade and put putty everywhere else. Let's see how that goes. I built up the end with quickwood putty, and my plan now is to carefully sand it back until that brass ferrule just fits. I also tried to work some putty inside the slot here to fill in. There was some wood missing where those screws came through. Tried to fill that in. You see it in there? Yeah. As I'm sanding, I stop and try to fit it on. I try to fit it on the same way every time. So far I'm to here. That's as tight as she'll go. When I take it off, there'll be little witness marks. See right there? You see it? There'll be witness marks of where it's rubbing. One there. I'll just touch that on the sander and then try it again. I'm going to try a test fit up. So this piece, this L-shaped piece of metal, it goes in like that. So when you adjust the screws, it presses on the metal and not on the blade. So that sits in there like that. And I want this handle, I put a mark so I know what I'm doing. I want this handle to go on like that. And then the blade, I should be able to slide in from the back, past that guard. Good. And then if I turn these, okay, those lock down. It's in there tight. If you can see that sliver of metal in there, you might not be able to. Yeah, it's tough to see. Those screws are pressing down on that piece of sheet metal. That looks like it works. All right. Time to do some gluing. The glue's dry. I thought before I go any further, I wanted to give this wood some color. This is early American. Yeah, I think that's going to look all right. Okay, this is what the pad saw looked like when I brought it home from the flea market. And here it is now. What do you think? I think the wood handle turned out especially well. I hope that color comes through the video. That's that early American stain. I put a satin finish on top and then waxed it. Look how nice that brass came out. Now these screws, I had every intention on flame blue in those, but they polished up so nice, I decided to just leave them polished steel. I mean, even the blade looks nice now too. The original screws were steel, I replaced them with brass. I had to cut them short so they wouldn't interfere with the blade. So I ended up epoxying them in. I did my best to line up the screw slot with that groove. I think I did okay. All right, let's give this thing a test drive. This is just a piece of pine. Well, it looks like it did the job. It was fun working on a vintage tool made out of my 3 favorite materials: steel, wood, and brass. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Well, that was uneventful. All right, here it is. After going over, I don't like what I said. I should be able to run those abrasive wheels. I went through 4 grits of sand. That's 5. I'm going to give this stuff a try again. Oh man, I can't talk. This is impossible doing the camera.